roll my brand.
Great. First of all, who are you and what do you do?
My name's Angus Campbell. I'm one of the co-founders here at Good Robot Brewing. What I do on a daily basis often varies with whatever the topic du jour is. Today, I was supporting the packaging line. Tomorrow, I could be engaging with business development, and the day after could be more technical work. It's always a mixed plate.
Okay. So, could you tell me about why we're here? Why did you decide to build a space here?
So we were experiencing something in 2017, 2018, where we were really interested in engaging with the NSLC, our local liquor agency, with packaged product, and we didn't have the ability to make packaged product. We were largely at that time a hospitality-focused brewery, in effect a brew pub. So when we wanted to get into the NSLC with our liquor agency for a little more awareness throughout the province, we knew that we had to package, and we'd used a mobile canner, and things had gone really well. And when COVID came along, it kind of expedited our interest in getting into packaged product and looking after it ourselves in-house. But what we found was the loss of dollars and margin that go into supplying the liquor board, while also consuming our capacity in the facility, our smaller facility, original facility. There was nothing left there, and we weren't able to maintain diversity of product. And then simultaneously, there were some policy changes within the Nova Scotia government that allowed this project to really become viable, in that we could service our own needs for more capacity and leverage economies of scale, while also supporting other small businesses that were faced with the same problem. And we had been experiencing that capacity crunch for 3 years prior to COVID.
So what's unique about this facility compared to facilities in Eastern Canada?
Yeah, so there's a couple things that make this facility unique. And you know, obviously, while trying to stay humble about it, we've got a very unique brewing facility, specifically brew house. That brew house has what's called a mash filter, and that's really unique to Canada in that there's two manufacturers in the world for craft scale mash filters, and neither of them have ever installed a brew house in Canada. So we became the first craft brewery at this scale to have a mash filter in Canada. And what's important about that is obviously not that we were first, but that the increase in efficiency from starch conversion for us jumped from 85% at Roby Street to 97, 98%. So we use less malt, which obviously has economic drivers, but it also really supports our interest in environmental being conscientious about our environmental impact, as well as our 30% water reduction that comes with that. Otherwise, that's a intensely unique feature of the facility. And then we also have the tunnel pasteurizer, which is a really important component for us to be able to support I'll just have to read.
Okay, what is unique about this facility?
What is unique about this facility? So there's a couple of key components. Obviously, it's a larger facility for the region. So there's that. But more importantly, we've got a couple of pieces of equipment that really support our key pillars of, being mindful of the environment, and being supportive of our community. And a couple ways that the technology supports that is specifically our brew house is first of its kind in Canada. And without getting into the specifics of the technology associated with that, the result is we're able to achieve 10 to 15% better efficiency on our starch conversion from a brewing perspective. And as well, that brew house in and of itself is requires 30% less water to produce the same amount of product. So there's that on the brewing side. On the packaging side, we've added, which is unique to our region, I believe there's only one or maybe two other in the land of Canada, a tunnel pasteurizer. And the tunnel pasteurizer we added due to our interest in export and the requirements for other countries and pasteurization as a prerequisite for that. But it also facilitates our opportunity to support different beverage categories. So we've always had the mantra that this place can produce anything that can go into an aluminum can. But you also need to make sure that whatever goes into that aluminum can exist on the shelf at room temperature and present well. So by virtue of adding the tunnel pasteurizer, we're able to offer that to a lot of our co-packing clients. And it also offers Good Robot the chance to dip our toe in different categories too, and have the confidence that they're not going to change their flavor on the shelf. They're not going to explode on the shelf or re-ferment and so on and so forth. So those would be the two big pieces that really kind of make this place special. Obviously, we've got a lot of quality control items because we want to make sure that everything coming out of here shows exceptionally well on the shelf, or as it was intended by either Good Robot, the clients that we work with, partners we work with.
How's that sound so far?
That's super good. I seen it.
Right.
It's kind of fun.
Okay. They're still rolling?
Yeah, so
Okay. So you mentioned co-packing just now, or what did we decide? The other word was
Co-manufacturing. Yeah.
You mentioned co-manufacturing, co-packing. What does that mean exactly?
So co-manufacturing, at least what it means here, ask me again.
So tell me about co-manufacturing. Like, what is it? What is
Co-manufacturing in this facility is basically us working with other beverage companies, and typically it's with pre-existing beverage companies, not exclusive to beverage alcohol, but all beverage clients that are interested in producing at scale, testing their waters with respect to export, and need pasteurization and a CFIA accreditation, and need to produce those things in a facility that's accredited. And or are just looking for volume because they've had a win and they really want to seize that opportunity and run with it, but don't have the facility to support the volume that they need to really dig into that opportunity. So co-manufacturing, often we call them production partners because we work together. They come in, they teach us their recipe. We work together to get a good cadence for their needs, for any adjustments that we can offer them, because we've got a lot of experience at scale in working with CFIA labeling requirements and quality control standards and so on and so forth. So everybody wins in this facility, or we don't do business together. The client needs to get a better product. We need to win because we're offering this really unique opportunity to these clients, and those clients need to be happy with what they're getting from a quality and cost perspective. So I don't know if that answers it well enough or not.
no, that's good.
great?
I think that's really good. Yeah.
Yep. So, sorry, that's we got why you built this. So, like, can you tell me just a little bit about like Good Robot in general? Like, what is Good?
So if I could summarize or boil down what I feel Good Robot is, I feel like Good Robot exists as a celebration of individualism. I've always tried to boil Robot down to some simple statement, and what always comes back to me is come as you are and don't be an asshole. That's as simple as I think I've made it in my mind, and everybody's different, and that's okay. and we can fuck.
How does Good Robot look differently today than it did when you opened your doors?
Good Robot looks very different. So when we open the doors on Roby Street with a retail location and a very small brewery, it was the three of us, Doug, Josh, myself, and two employees at that time. And ironically, we had thought that we had already at that point deviated from our business plan, which had Doug, Josh, and I as bartenders exclusively, and just running the space and from a retail and taproom perspective. But here we are 8 years later, and we've got 4 bars, 3 retail locations, retail at home or e-commerce program, and a 15,000 square foot very advanced technically advanced production facility in Elmsdale. So yeah, things have changed a lot, but things have also stayed the same, with respect to our values and how we treat each other and how we treat the community and how we treat any other stakeholders that we engage with. That's never changed. Respect has always been the forefront, and respecting people where they're at, not forcing them to change that, as long as they're respectful of where everyone else is at. And that gets, that becomes a lot more challenging when you go from starting with 5 people, founders included, to I think we're 87 now. So it's a lot of work, maintaining those values and morals, but we are very strict with how we onboard and who we onboard, and do our best to toss little litmus tests into our onboarding process as a result.
My question is, what is the difference between your abilities in your previous production facility in Roby Street and as what you're able to do here in the Elmsdale facility?
Yeah, so there's a few kind of key changes, and without getting too technical, the what we're able to do here is obviously more volume, just as a starting point. The volume output that we had at Roby Street would say we could produce maybe 3 pallets of product a day. Here in a shift, we're able to fill about a truckload and a half of cans. So, and I say that in that way because the ability of the facility to produce different beverages is also a difference, and a growth opportunity for Robot or any of the manufacturing partners that we have come through the door. At Roby Street, the original brewery, we were only able to produce beer, RTDs to a point, and I say to a point because we couldn't use fresh fruit for fear of re-fermentation in the can, so on and so forth. Same goes for flavored water. Same goes for the cider that we produce there. Now that we've got a pasteurizer and CFI accreditation, we can sprawl across Canada. We can sprawl internationally, but more simply, we can make all of these different beverage categories with confidence. We can make flavored water, coffee, sodas, ciders, RTDs, beer, canned wine, spritzers, and have the confidence that they're going to show well on the shelf, and give that confidence to all our manufacturing partners. So, going from filling a cargo van to filling 1.5 tractor trailers in the same time span, especially when you feather that out over the 300 or working days of the year, and that's with a single shift. And this facility can absolutely do, run a double shifted, has the opportunity to run 2 shifts.
2 tractor trailers. How many cans is that?
It depends on the can size, but more simply, let's say 40 to 45,000 cans a shift. And yeah, Yeah. So
That's crazy.
It's like hands.
yeah, Wednesday we did 36,000. Wednesday, and we were finished in 6 hours. But start up and clean up, there's an hour and a half and 2 hours on the end. So yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Brent?
I think
Pretty good.